Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Frenkel. I'm the Dean of WHU, and I'd like to welcome you on behalf of the entire school to this two-day conference, the 14th time that the Campus of Finance is now held at our school, and this time for the first time as the audience has been growing continuously. The conference was shifted from the smaller city of Wallenda to what Wallenda sometimes calls the suburb of Wallenda, namely Koblenz. And therefore we have a little bit more space here. Whoever expected a movie here was probably a little bit disappointed. It was only to get your attention, and I think this has served the purpose. In any case, let me very briefly tell you a little bit about the school, since many of you, or most of you, are visiting our school for the first time. WHU, or as we refer to often, WHU, was founded only, let's say, nearly 30 years ago, namely 1984, and we'll celebrate a little bit later, not with a big event, but a little bit the 30th anniversary of the founding of the school. It was founded by a private initiative, which was a rare thing in Germany. As you know, the German tertiary education system is dominated by public schools. And the founders came from two parties. One were academics, the other were businessmen. Businessmen thought that mass student bodies at public universities would not be very conducive to management education. And academics shared this, combined with the opinion that public universities could not reform themselves out of their own power, and therefore there needed to be an alternative in order to initiate some reforms at public schools. Public schools have quite reformed, or relatively reformed themselves in this country, at least in some of the schools, and maybe WHU has contributed a little bit to the system change. Nevertheless, WHU has advanced to what we would call now a typical European top business school, with a portfolio that ranges from a Bachelor of Science program to postgraduate programs, doctoral programs, and customized company programs. And therefore, we're looking now at a school that, by international standards, is still relatively small, but in a niche market with very, very high expectations to the students or participants of the programs, but also high expectation to those who teach, namely the instructors or the faculty in general. WHU follows the slogan "Excellence in Management Education," and our understanding of excellence is not only referred to how we teach and what we teach, but also that those who teach have a say in their field. And having a say in one's field requires a lot of research, so that you can contribute new ideas, new findings into whatever you teach. And therefore, excellence in management education is really a very wide slogan that we use. But we also go by people, passion, performance, because we really think that when the people business, we do what we do with a lot of passion, but at the same time we have very high demands. So, and I hope that this conference, as has been the case for the past 13 times, shows and demonstrates that we have this combination of people, passion, and performance. I wish all of you that after the conference you can say, I have accomplished 3 things. One is, I've learned about some of the topics that have been discussed, and we'll hear about this in a moment, so I have really gained knowledge. The second is, I have learned about a school that I had little idea of before I came, or heard, but I had never seen. So that's the second. So you go home and say, I know a little bit about WHU now. And the third is that you get to know people, not all of the participants, not all of the speakers, but maybe you meet one or the other speaker in private conversation, that you meet participants so that you can increase a little bit your own network. So if you accomplish these 3 things, conference knowledge, knowledge about the school, and a little bit of widening of your own network, then I think you go home really enriched. I hope that every part of these 3 wishes comes true. And I wish you a lot of success. Also, that this is an interesting conference, and I hope to see you soon again. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the organizing team of the Campus for Finance WHU New Year's Conference, and also in my position as the Associate Dean of the school, let me very cordially welcome you here on the 14th Campus for Finance WHU New Year's Conference. This time, for the first occasion, as Dean Frenkel has already mentioned, in Koblenz, not in Fallenda, on our original campus. So we are currently 5 kilometers away from our original site, which is simply due to the fact that the Campus for Finance WHU New Year's Conference has grown beyond the borders of the little village called Fallenda, where our school is based. I hope there are, I'm not sure whether there's a representative of Fallenda, because from the viewpoint of Fallenda, as Dean Frenkel already said, Koblenz is the suburb, and not Fallenda is the suburb. However, if you look at the sizes, it's the other way around. Today we welcome you here at in the brand new hall, Rhine-Mosel Hall, here at the Rhine River. Even though it's not our original school campus, we hope that you will have 2 very entertaining and 2 very insightful days here on this occasion. We will, however, meet from time to time also on the original campus. For instance, for the network dinners, which are going to take place tonight and also tomorrow night, so that you also will gain an impression of our school, at least those of you who have never attended one of the 13 Campus for Finance New Year's conferences which have already taken place. So that you will get an impression of both Koblenz and also of our campus. Tomorrow's financial services, breakdown or revival. This is the overall topic of this year's Campus for Finance New Year's Conference, and indeed the financial sector has gone through a very tremendous, very difficult phase since 2007, and now it's going through a phase of heavy regulation. If you think of Basel III, or if you think of the invention of the European Banking Union, which has been put in place at the beginning of this year. A breakdown of the financial industry, however, is not very likely according to my point of view, simply because financial services are absolutely inevitable. The real economy and the financial economy are 2 sides of the same medal. Even though a breakdown seems to be very unlikely, a revival in the sense that everything will be the same as before 2007 is as unlikely as a breakdown of the financial industry. And it will also not be a very desirable development if everything will be the same as before 2007. Financial services will remain crucial, but how they are going to be offered, this is going to be a very interesting question. And I'm very happy that so many attendees today are here and so many speakers who join us today in order to address this question for the next 2 days here in the Rhein-Mosel-Halle in Koblenz and also on the Fallenda campus of WHU, Otto Beisheim School of Management. We will have the opportunity to see many different viewpoints on this question. Let me mention only some of the perspectives which are going to come over the next 2 days in order to give you a brief overview over the conference program. The perspective of the real industry sector will be brought in by the President of the Federation of German Industries, BDI, Mr. Ulrich Grillo, who's sitting here in the front. He's going to be the first speaker after the welcome notes. Then, among many others, we will have the perspective of the President of the German Saving Institutions, namely Georg Fahrenschuh. In a certain sense, he represents the largest bank in Europe, at least if you consider the savings institution sector as a homogeneous sector with different banks which have the same business model and which have very similar goals. And aggregatedly, all of the saving institutions, roughly 600 in Germany, this is a very large bank for even in international comparisons. Today in the afternoon, and also very interesting, by the way, regarding the savings institution sector, is that the saving institution sector has not been hit by the financial crisis due to the business model which some people before 2007 have indicated to be a little bit old-fashioned, but obviously it was a comparatively successful business model. Today in the afternoon we are going to have a workshop about regulation of the financial sectors, and that will contribute to how banks have to be set up more efficiently in the future and also more successful in the future in terms of risk management strategies. Tomorrow in the morning we are able to welcome Nobel laureate Reinhard Selten from the University of Bonn and his colleague Robin Pope, who will give us some insights about the damages central bank policies might have if they follow inflation targeting. We will then also have the viewpoint of Germany's biggest public bank, the DK Bank namely, represented by its CEO Michael Rüdiger. And also tomorrow we will have Klaus Regling talking to us, who is the managing director of the European Stabilization Mechanism, a fund which has been put in place due to the financial crisis, which was followed by a banking crisis, which was followed by a sovereign risk crisis, which was followed by the euro currency crisis, and the European Stabilization Mechanism, ESM, is probably one of the most important signs of how times have changed during those crises that we have experienced over the last 7 years. And tomorrow, also very interestingly, we will have Karl-Georg Altenburg, who represents the viewpoint of JP Morgan, one of the very few puristic investment banks which are left of US style. And he will basically also enrich the discussion about the breakdown or the revival of financial institutions from the viewpoint of JP Morgan. And the last viewpoint that we will have tomorrow is going to be contributed by the head of the supervisory board of Deutsche Bank, the biggest German bank, Paul Achleitner. His viewpoint will be especially interesting, firstly because he's one of the most acknowledged personalities in the European financial industry, but also because he was not part of the banking sector during the financial crisis. He was representing an insurance company by that, and he joined the banking sector basically after the financial crisis was over, if it is over at least after we have gone through the worst. And he is now basically one of those who has to deal with the problems which have been caused and which have been initiated during the financial crisis. So I hope that you also think that this is an interesting program that the students have put together, the students of WHU at the Beisheim School of Management. Please enjoy the inspiring atmosphere here in the Rhein-Mosel Halle in Koblenz, but also on our campus, the WHU at the Beisheim School of Management campus in Fallenda. I'm emphasizing Fallenda because some of you might know we have also a second campus in Düsseldorf. But what we will see today is this Rhein-Mosel Halle and the campus in Fallenda. And I'm looking very forward to the speeches, to the presentations that we're going to have. I'm also personally looking very forward to the interactions that hopefully I'm going to have with you, because I'm looking down to the audience. There are many well-known faces, many people who come to the campus of finance via New Year's conference every year, or at least from time to time, which I'm very delighted about. Please have a very nice 2 days, and before we really start the conference, may I now ask Alexander Evertz, who represents the students organizing team, to address you, the audience, and to give you some organizational remarks. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Professor Rudolf. As Professor Rudolf
and Professor Frenkel already said, it was now the 14th WHU New Year's conference, and we from the student organization team would also like to welcome you. We are glad that you found your way here to the conference center and hope you had a good trip. Even though I hear a couple of you had a little delay, we hope you had a good arrival. To keep it the only delay, I will keep this quick and simple. As previous participants will have noticed, we have changed the setup and are for the very first time here in the conference center in Koblenz. But also we'll have a couple of events and parts of the program and our beloved campus and founder. While we'll be staying in Poland during the first half of the day today, and I'll have some great speeches and a panel discussion here, later on today, the participants will attend workshops in Founder. For further information about today's and tomorrow's time schedule, please check the conference book or download our app. Furthermore, feel free to contact our help desk, which is right up there, or our check-in desk, which you will find downstairs. Of course, the entire Campus for Finance WHU New Year's Conference would have not been possible without the support of our sponsors and partners. I would like first to mention our initial sponsor, the Boston Consulting Group, and our initial sponsor, Oliver Wyman. Further event sponsors are Anders, Barclays Capital, Bayer, Bank of America Merrill Lynch, Deutsche Bank, eFinancial Careers, HSBC Trinkhaus, Bankhaus Metzler, Oliver Wyman, UBS, Rothschild, Waterland. Our corporate sponsor is Latham Watkins for this year. Our sponsors of the Young Professional Program, UniCredit, BP, and ZTB. We are also grateful for the support of our mobility partners, Audi and BCD Travel. A special thanks goes to my fellow students who have invested a whole entire year of dedicated preparation into this single event, into these 2 days. In addition, I would like to thank our academic director, Professor Rudolf, for his amazing support during the whole year. The support of the endowed finance chair, the WHU administration, as well as the WHU career service was essential for us and would like to express our gratitude for that. To conclude, enjoy these 2 special days, inspiring speeches and panels, as well as networking opportunities.